Today we're exploring My Ghost Go Ghost, the sonic threshold where injury reserve becomes by storm. Let's be clear, this isn't a breakup, it's a metamorphosis. Nathaniel Ritchie and Parker Corey aren't walking away from what they built, they're carrying it forward under a new banner, retiring the injury reserve name while the work deepens. If you're already tapped in and you know this collective has never played by the rules, born in Arizona's DIY underground, Injury Reserve carved out space as three artists originally, right? That refuse categorization, blending caustic production, unfiltered lyricism, and performances that blurred the line between rap show and art installation. They built their following on refusal to soften, refusal to compromise, refusal to fit. Then 2020 shattered everything. Steppa Groggs, RIP Groggs, co-founder, creative anchor, he passed away, and the remaining band faced an impossible question: what, um, what do you do when the foundation cracks? Their answer was, by the time I get to Phoenix. They dropped this project in 2021. This is an album that didn't run from grief, but built inside it. The soul becoming more fractured, more searching. The mourning wasn't subtext, it was structure. By storm is what happens next. Not a reset, but a deepening. Richie and Corey have pushed further into the margins, performing in museums, curating festival moments that feel more like happenings than concerts. You just had to be there to know. They're choosing spaces that where you're expecting experimentation. They're not quoting the algorithm. It's almost subversive. It feels subversive. It feels like they're anti-algorithm. My Ghost Go Ghost thrives in this space. The residue of what was, with the friction over what's becoming. There are some key production details that stand out immediately to me. First of all, being the use of negative space. The beats breathe. There's these long stretches where drums drop out completely, vocals distort, the melodies feel like they're resolving. Silence is used like an instrument. It's part of the tapestry of what you listen to. You're also listening for the silences. There's these industrial textures that are layered throughout this project. You hear metallic percussions, warped bass lines, and synths that feel like they're glitching in real time. It's uncomfortable, but it's intentional. The production mirrors anxiety at some points. In memory, what would it sound like? What does a memory sound like? The emotional layering is self-evident. Vocals aren't clean. They're almost never clean on this project. It's filtered. It's pitched. It's sometimes the it swallows the beat, or then it gets swallowed by the beat. It creates this ghostly effect that that's like speaking through static, like somebody on a different planet just trying to like mayday mayday. Is anybody there? Um, I gotta talk about a couple of these tracks that really stood out to me. The opening track, it sets the tone immediately. Sparse drums here, heavy atmosphere. You can feel the weight before the first full verse even lands. Grapefruit. I gotta shout out Grapefruit. This appears early in the project. The sequencing carries one of its most vivid lyrical images. Richie raps about being emotionally exposed. I let them rip me open. They barely blink too. The outside looking something like gray, the inside looking something like grapefruit. He says, right? Nasty. And there's like it says nasty in the background. It's about what gets revealed when you're vulnerable in the world that doesn't flinch at your pain. The grapefruit isn't sweet, it's bitter, it's fleshy, it's complicated, it stings even. Okay, I know how this track goes here. Okay, I know what I signed up for. I know what I signed for that. Don't make this shit hit less hard, man. Niggas obsessed with rollouts and parlays. Might as well throw down, put it on my Barclays. Just leverage your future. Fuck it. Just leverage your future. Right? It's basically what it's saying there. I got a ban on my iPhone cover art, some Y2K, and two new allegations. You can up that to 3 and really get paid, man. But that ain't me. I'm going to play it safely. Please say all of this is a hoax. Now, play it safely with this experimental rap. I don't even know. I don't think that's playing it safely, but I feel what you're saying there. Please say all this is a hoax. I see peaks. Feel something that is flowing. We see all of this exposed. I think we went further than we supposed to. They seem unamused at most. I let it rip me open. They barely blink too. I let it happen. I let the game happen to me. They ripped me open and people barely even notice. The outside looking something like grape. And the inside, grape, nice and smooth on the outside. Nice and check. Oh, it's a grape. It's going to be sweet, right? And the inside looking something like grapefruit, but it's bitter. Wait, ooh. And then the voice goes, it's nasty. Grapefruit. It ripped me open, showed all my weight ooze. The inside looking something like grapefruit. It ripped me open, showing all my weight ooze. The inside looking something like grapefruit. And they carry on like this. Dope stuff. I love also checking out zigzagging. Zigzagging through the moon, right? This is a track that lands during the center stretch of the project. It builds from minimal piano into a chaotic drum beat. It feels like grief turning into motion. Still experimental, but almost hopeful. I like that it's almost like dawn breaking through a fog. What I appreciate the most is the sequencing for this whole thing. Like I said, the album it doesn't feel like a playlist. It feels intentional. It feels like chapters in some indie film. By Storm and Injury Reserve aren't chasing playlists, so I can't see any of these tracks ever making it to a particular playlist, and that's a good thing. I'm not with playlists either. I'm about listening to albums and to projects from top to bottom and rating it as a full body of work. This is what the artist actually intends. If you have an artist who's into the actual art, right? If you have a musician that's actually into the actual art of music making and world building and putting out together a cohesive project. If you have somebody that's just like not trying to make you think, just trying to give you some bangers, shout out to them. There's a link for them too. But this project is for those who appreciate art. They're just being honest on this thing, and that honesty hits hard because it doesn't feel forced. It feels authentic. It feels unpolished, and it doesn't look for the approval of those who are just like looking for polished works. For those of us who grew up late night, maybe in some Tumblr posts on the Reddit, maybe you're in SoundCloud, like you're in a rabbit hole in SoundCloud, and you now are in a place in your life where real life stuff is happening, where life is lifing. You've been through grief, you've been through different changes, you're getting older. This project feels familiar. It doesn't over-explain. It actually doesn't preach. It assumes that you've lived a little and that you can relate. I love that they captured that on wax. It's about learning how to live with the stuff that you've carried and you've gained and that has hurt you. That you've learned to live with it. You've learned to cope. You've had some healing. And you found a way to find order out of the chaos.